Yes.
Just one last aspect. Sergeant Masondo. When you arrested the suspect that you identified as accused number 3, did you perhaps notice his appearance?
That's correct, my lord.
Ukuthi ke ngambopha ngambheka yini ukuthi ukanjani ke noma ubukeka kanjani yebo kunjalo.
Yes. What did you notice?
The first thing that I've noticed, he was on a sling.
Was he injured?
Yes, he was injured in a blue sling.
Okokuqala engaqaphela ukuthi wayelimele ke ingalo ke bambe kanjena noma eneswing.
Yes, and then he was on dreadlocks.
Enama dreadlocks.
Thank you, my lord. That's all.
Yes, I'm finished. Hello?
No questions.
No questions, okay, Mr. Minister?
I do have questions.
Hello? Yes, yes, yes. May be seated, unless you're as fit as I am.
I'm still okay, man.
Oh, okay, fine.
Thank you, my lord. Good morning, sir.
Good day, advocate.
You said good day. Thank you. Thank you. There's an exhibit that I quickly want us to touch base on. Please, Unfortunately, I indicated to my colleague that it did not furnish me with all the exhibits, so I was using my colleague's exhibits. But nonetheless, no, this not. Thank you. The reason why I want us to start with this exhibit is because I don't want to forget the question that I had in mind. I think it's exhibit X3. Let's go to exhibit X3.
Yes.
Yes. I see there's an acknowledgement of receipt, but in paragraph number 1, where you say one pistol black in color, the forensic bag seal number FSE 385083, one magazine and 28 rounds, and forensic bag number PA 600 1755815. Compare this to lab number 26766 of 2015. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, yes, my lord.
Ngiyabona la ufunda khona yebo.
Thank you. Now, I understand you in your evidence in chief that first seal bag number written FSE 385083 was the seal bag in which the firearm was put in, not so.
That is correct.
Lena ke ekuno number FSE 385083 yilabo faka khona isibhamu yebo.
And there's also the other one, other seal bag, wherein, I just want to be specific with you, that's a forensic seal bag number PA 300 366709. It's the seal bag in which the cell phone was put in, not so?
That is correct, my lord.
Kanti ke uPA yena ke 3000 ne? 3000 yena ke ile kwafake yona I cell phone.
Let's go back a bit there with regard to the items that you found. You said you found a firearm. You also found a green box. And there was also an empty magazine, so.
That is correct.
Ngishilo-ke ukuthi kwatholakala i-cellphone noma kwatholakala i-spam, ibhokisi e-blue kanye futhi nemagazini eyayingenalutho.
No.
How did you package those exhibits? The firearm, the empty magazine, and the green box that you found.
Okay. The firearm,
Yes.
you release the magazine. The magazine become an one item,
Or a separate item.
a separate
Thank you,
item,
sir.
but
Yes.
it's one, it belongs to the firearm.
Yes.
The magazine has got 15 loaded live ammunition,
Yes.
and then one was on the chamber,
Yes.
and then the box is also live ammunition.
Yes.
That's a one item, it goes together in one bag.
Lana-ke i-spam uma usukhipha-ke imagazini, manje-ke sekuyi-spam imagazini, kodwa-ke leyo magazini leyo imagazini ehamba nalesiya spam inama-rounds-ke awu-15, kube nale eyodwa-ke ingaphakathi-ke kwi-spam noma-ke kwi-chamber, kube kusiba ne-box, nayo-ke i-box inama-rounds ayo.
Now the question is, how did you package those exhibits? Those which you have just mentioned now, how did you package them?
Put it in one seal bag together and seal it.
Okay.
So firearm
Okay.
goes with magazine and the live ammunition. Put it inside.
Konke-ke lokhu siyakuhlanganisa-ke i-spam, magazini, i-ammunition, ufaka kwi-bag eyodwa.
And that would have been forensic bag number FSL 385083.
That is correct, my lord.
Ile number-ke ewu-FSE 385083.
Now in paragraph 1, there's that FSE forensic bag number 385083 and another forensic bag, which is PA 600 1755815. How does that bag feature in the exhibits which you collected?
It does feature. If you can look, it's also compared to this lap number. There's a lap number there. But to go straight to the seal bag, PA 600 175 it was the exhibit collected from the mortuary because they were sent together on the Alexandra case to be compared with the exhibit we found under Cleveland case.
Kunale number-ke ngibuza ngayo ewu-PA 600 175 5815. Lana-ke ngoba kushiwo ukuthi qhathanisa-ke nale lab number ngoba khona-ke lokho okwakubuya emoshwari-ke ekwakuzohlanganiswa nale case lena-ke yase-Cleveland. Uma ukhumbula kahle-ke ngikhulumile ngaphambilini nge-case yase-Alexandra.
Well, as I understand you, this PA 600
It's a
17558
separate exhibit.
it was a separate exhibit.
That's correct.
Okay, but they were sent to the forensic science
To be
laboratory.
compared together.
They were sent together. Those that were found allegedly in possession of accused number 3.
That is correct.
Lokho-ke kwazohlanganiswa-ke konke kuthunyelwe-ke ukuthi bahambe-ke bayocwaninga noma bayobheka-ke ngoba-ke lona-ke obunye nje ubufakazi.
Thank you, sir. Now, you spend almost 25% of your time while testifying, hammering on the fact that you found the exhibits. Upon you finding them, you put them in this forensic bag, and there was an elaborate chain with regard to how they were handled, not so?
That is correct.
Ngishilo-ke ukuthola kwami ngase ngichaza yonke-ke inqubo elandela noma okwenziwayo-ke ukuthi kuhanjiswe bona lo bufakazi.
You know, it is not in dispute that you put them in this forensic bags and then you sealed them accordingly. That's not in dispute. But what I want to know from you is, why is it important that items that are found at the scene should be placed in forensic sealed bag, and those bags should be properly sealed?
Why is it important?
Why is it so imperative? Yes, important means why is it so imperative? Why is it so necessary? Those are just synonym of the word important, yes.
It is necessary,
Yes.
of course, to make sure that the exhibit does not get tampered. Yes. The way it's found, it must remain the way it is.
Kuyisidingo impela-ke ukuthi uma kutholakala ubufakazi-ke kwindawo yesigameko ukuthi-ke kufakwe-ke kule yikhwama ey'khuluma ngazo zasemaphoyiseni zobufakazi esithi-ke ama-exhibit bag ukuthi lokho-ke okutholakele kube kusona leso simo leso ekutholakele kunjalo kungabikho-ke ukuthi kuphazamiseke noma kuphazanyiswe nako.
Is there any other reason?
Not that I think of.
Asikho esinye isizathu engicabanga ngaso.
Thank you. Now, in your 20-year service or in your 20-year experience, that is how exhibits have been treated when they are found at the scene. So,
That is correct.
or that you have been treating them when you find them at the scene. So,
That's how I do it.
Kule minyaka-ke u-20 ngisemaphoyiseni indlela-ke engenza ngayo-ke mina uma ngithola ubufakazi.
thank you. Now, you've also made mention of the fact that the type of a firearm that you found allegedly where you say accused number 3 was staying is a Czech Republic CZ 75 9mm firearm or pistol. It's a pistol, not so. It's a Luger.
That's correct. It's a Luger.
Ngishilo-ke ukuthi iluka-ke noma iluher isibhamu lesi asatholakala la umsola ahlala khona.
Now, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm going to ask you. Now, from your 20-year experience as a police officer, could this model of a firearm that you allegedly say it was found where accused number 3 person staying, could this have been the only firearm in the country that would have been in the country, this only model, or there are other firearms of the same models that are also available in the country?
It's a lot. It was not the only firearm.
Ezale nhlobo-ke noma ibhamu zalolu hlobo-ke angeke ngithi kwakuyisona sodwa-ke ningi kabi-ke ngaphandle lapha ey'khona.
This very same type of firearm.
That is correct.
Yebo le nhlobo lena.
Why do you say there's a lot?
There's nowhere where the one gun can be manufactured, just one gun.
Akukho la khona-ke kungakhiqizwa nje noma kungakhishwa khona
Just
isibhamu
one gun.
esisodwa noma uhlobo olulodwa.
Thank you. Now, let's go to the scene. It's yourself, Sergeant Masondo. It's your colleague, Sergeant Damini, and it's Wiso. I don't know who this Wiso is. Was he or she a policeman?
It's she.
Oh, it's a she.
Yeah, it's a she.
Yeah. He's also a cop.
Of course.
Naye-ke uwiso omunye-ke esebenza naye-ke umuntu wesimame kodwa esebenza naye uyiphoyisa naye.
Thank you. Now you say, upon receipt of this information, you headed to the direction where this information led you to, and indeed, at a particular point, you found that the person that you're looking for has already left that place, not so.
That is correct, ma'am.
Ngishilo-ke ukuthi kuloko sakuthola-ke ukuthi wayekuphi nendawo saya kodwa samfica-ke esengasekho.
Then the basis yet of some information, you follow traces, and fortunately for you, at one point, just before a person could get they could open the gate of the place where they were heading to, then you are informed that no, that's the person that you're looking for, not so?
That is correct. That was our fortunate part of it.
Yes.
Yebo ke kuloko kumlandela ke la samthola khona ke noma ngaphambili nje kokuthi angene ke la saba nenhlanhla khona ke.
Thank you. Then you say you then stopped him. Actually, you stopped the vehicle in which you're driving. You approached the person, so identified, and then you introduced yourself as police officers, and then you told him that you're looking for him, and then you started to search him.
That is correct.
Sambona ngaphambili kokuthi angene ke sathi simisa imoto saya kuyena sayichaza ukuthi siyobani nokuthi sifuna yena ke samsesha nomsearch.
And then from there, you then requested him to show you the place where he was staying.
That is correct.
Lapho ke samcela ukuthi asiseke la ahlala khona.
But before you searched him, you specifically told him that you were investigating a particular case, not so? Thank you.
That's correct.
Kodwa ngaphambili kokumsesha ke samazisa ke masamchazela ukuthi siphenye icala elithize.
Did you find anything in his possession or subsequent to you searching him? Did you find anything in him?
It was only the cell phone, if I do remember.
Uma ukuthi ngisakhumbula ke i-cellphone kuphela sayithola nkathi simsesha.
So that was only the cell phone. Thank you.
That is correct.
Did you confiscate the cell phone there and there, or you just left it in his possession and then you confiscated later on?
We confiscated there and there.
Ngaleso sikhathi leso sayithola ngayo ngaso i-cellphone sabe siyithatha ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Then he went on to show you his room, not so?
That is correct.
Wasehamba ke eyosikhombisa la ahlala khona.
And did I hear you well that you said it was room number 51 Pesimal Street in Malvern?
No, you didn't hear me. I said
Yeah, correct me.
It was a house 81 Persimmon Street. The house with some room outside.
Ngithe yindlu ke unumber ke u81 ePersimmon Street.
Thank you. It was a house.
It's a house with separate rooms outside.
Kwakuyindlu ke eyinamarumu ke ngaphandle.
I want to follow your evidence very carefully. You say it was a house, and in the yard where the house was built, there were separate rooms outside the house.
That is correct, even though I don't know how many rooms were there, but there was a big house, it's a suburb place,
Yeah.
but there were some few rooms for rentals.
Okay.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi kwakuyindlu nje enkulu noma umuzi omkhulu enamarumu ke oqashisa ngaphandle.
So he then showed you the room that he was specifically occupying.
He even opened it by his key.
Akakhombisanga nje kuphela wayivula ngesikhiya sakhe leyo room leyo.
When you found him or when you accosted him, was the accused person alone or was in company of somebody else?
He was in company of his girlfriend.
Wayehamba ke naloyo noma ke usisike ahlekisana naye.
Thank you. Then upon him opening the room, what did you do?
Upon him opening the room,
Yes.
he said, "Oh, this is where you sit, you stay." He said, "Yes." "Can we please search your room?" Then he said, "Yes, you can search." Because he was very cooperative.
Uma sesivulela ke sibuza ukuthi yila uhlala khona yebo ila uhlala khona singasesha yini wavuma ke wathi yebo umuntu nje ongazange anikeze ngayinkinga nje owayesebenzisana.
Yes. then gave you the alleged permission, and then what did you do?
Then we started to check. And one of my guys, because they were Yamini, check on top, and then he noticed the firearm lying there.
Sasa sibheka ke omunye ke walabo engisebenza nabo ke uConstable Dlamini wabuka noma wabheka ke phezulu wasibona ke isibhamu khona lapho.
Thank you. That is now at the point at which the alleged firearm was found.
That's a stage where the firearm is now found.
Leso sikhathi ke isibhamu esatholakala ngaso.
Then immediately after the firearm was found, you then requested the user to go fetch this forensic exhibit bag so that you can put all the exhibits which you found into these exhibit bags.
That is correct.
La sengicela khona kuwiso ukuthi ahambe ke ayolanda ke isikhwama sokufakaza emotweni sofaka lokho ke esakuthola noma kwatholakala.
And then you further asked the accused whether he's got a license to possess the firearm, and what was his response?
No, he didn't produce the license.
Uma ke simbuza noma ngimbuza ke ngelicense yaso isibhamu akazange ayikhiphe.
Did he have any response?
No, the response was just that because when I was further questioning him about the firearm, he came with it from KZN Homeland, and obviously the firearm was filed off the serial number, and then no license to possess it. Yes, he acknowledged that it's his firearm because he actually wanted to place both of them with the girlfriend in possession of the firearm.
Okwenzeka ke uma simbuza ke noma ngimbuza ngaso ke isibhamu leso okoqala wavuma ke noma washo ukuthi isibhamu awabuya naso ke ekhaya eKZN washo ukuthi isibhamu sakhe ke kodwa ke ilicense ke noma ingekho yona ke futhi ke inhloso ke noma isifiso kwaku ukuba bethwesa icala bobabili ke yena ke kanye nosisi loyo ayehamba naye ngokutholakala nesibhamu ongekho emthethweni.
Thank you, and then subsequent thereto, you then arrested him. And then you said, on the basis of what we found at this place, we then arresting you for possession of unlawful, for possession of firearm without a license, and also for possession of ammunition without a license.
We arrested him for Alexander matter, and then on top, and then we found this firearm. We had him as well on the possession.
Okokuqala ke wayeboshelwa sambophela ke icala lase Alexandra sase sengeza ke lokhu esikutholile isibhamu lesi kanye futhi nezinhlamvu ngaphezulu kwaleli icala lase Alexandra esasimbophela lona.
Then you took him to Germiston police station where he was detained.
Yes, he was detained in Germiston police station.
Waseyovalelwa ke eGermiston police station.
And then investigation with regard to the firearm kicked off.
That is correct, ma'am.
Laseqala ke uphenyo mayelana nesibhamu.
That is, in essence, what happened at the point, the time, and the date at which accused number 3 got arrested for having been allegedly found in possession of the firearm that you've testified about, not so?
Can you rephrase, please? Can you rephrase for me?
I am saying,
Yes.
in essence, that is exactly what happened at the point in time and place where accused number 3 got arrested by yourself, Dlamini, and Wiso for allegedly being in possession of a firearm that was found at the place that he was occupying, not so?
That is correct. But even if we didn't find him with the firearm, we were arresting him for Alexander case.
Empeleni lokho ke okwenzeka ke lapha atholakala khona ke noma la sesimbopha khona ke atholakala nesibhamu noma kwakuwukuthi samthola ke isibhamu leso engenaso noma ngekho isibhamu kuyena ke ukumbopha vele sasizombopha sizombophela icala lase Alexander.
Thank you. We about the firearm. Let's let's not try to conflate issues. We're dealing here with the Fosloros case. We don't know what happened in the Alexander case. We're here to speak about the firearm. Do you understand? Thank you.
Correct.
So that is exactly my point. All that we have testified about now, that is exactly what happened there.
That is correct, my lord.
Lokhu ke ngikhuluma ngako noma ngikushilo ikona okwenzeka laphayana ngaleliya langa.
Thank you. Let's quickly touch base on the following aspects. You did not have a warrant of search, no, sir, when you conducted the search.
Well, we dealt with that. We didn't have a warrant of search. We are not there to search. We didn't even know where he stays. That's the reason we had to follow him to see where he stays. Because we were just looking for him.
Ukuthi nje sasingenayo ke incwadi ke esigunyazisayo ukuthi sisesheke lokho bese sikhulumileke ngakho ke sasingayelanga ukuyosesha laphayana sasingamazi nokumazi ukuthi uhlala kuphi nendawo ingakho ke samlandela ngoba thina sasifuna yena noma sasibhekana naye.
Do you understand you well when you say, you're speaking a bit faster. Some of the things that you say, you're speaking a bit faster. At some point, you're speaking a little bit low, so I can't hear you properly. So it's the reason why I'll keep on repeating unless you decide to increase your volume. That's the reason why I'll keep on repeating that. Do I hear you well when you say this? Because I've got a problem, a bit of a problem with somebody that's talking soft, you understand?
Okay.
Do you mind to repeat what you just said now, but now in a higher pitch, in an increased volume?
Can you repeat your question? I can't remember what I said.
You can't remember what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Do you agree with me that you did not have a warrant of search?
That is correct. I do agree with you.
Ngiyavumelana ke nawe uma uthi sasingenayo ke incwadi esigunyazisa ukuthi siseshe.
Then you went on to speak about the whole lot of things. That is what I wanted to hear.
No, I was just explaining that we dealt with that on the other matter concerning the search and seizure of the firearm.
Abengikusho ukuthi kwelinye ke leliyana icala lokho ke besase sidingidileke lolo udabulelo mayela ke nokusesha noma iwarranty ke kanye nesibhamu.
I've just mentioned to you that let us not conflate issues. What happened in that other trial has got nothing to do with what is happening in this trial. You are telling this court, this trial, that when you searched him, you did not have a warrant of search, not so.
It's so.
Thank you.
Ngiyasho ke futhi ukuthi ngangenayo ke incwadi engivumelana noma engigunyazisa ukuthi ngimseshe.
That is now both when you searched him in the streets and also when you searched in the room where you say the room that he pointed out to you, not so?
That is correct.
Ngalesikhathi ngimseshela ngaphandle nangalesikhathi sengisesha ke eroomini la ahlala khona.
And did I hear you well when you said yes? Whatever that you said, though, all that you said is what transpired at the time at which you accosted him, up until the point where you took him away and locked him up at Jamestown, not so?
That is correct.
Futhi ke konke lokho ngikushilo lokho kwenzeka nkathi ke simfica simsesha kwaze kwayisikhathi la eseyovalelwa khona ke eJamestown.
Would you agree with me, sir, that in your speech, in your testimony, I'm sorry, not speech, in your testimony, there's no way where you mentioned that at a particular point, we stood back and said, accused person, these are your rights. As we are doing this, just know that you have got the following right. Do you agree with me that you never explain his rights as a suspect and as a person that gets detained or that you're
Well,
suspecting?
His rights were explained fully and he understood. It might happen that during the testimony it was not asked.
Amalungelo akhe ke ngokomthetho sisekelo kokwana-ke wawachazelwa-ke ngokuphelele wase uyawezwa-ke kungenzeka-ke ukuthi nkathi-ke ngibuzwa-ke imibuzo yena-ke umshushisi lokho akakubuzanga.
Do you agree with me that as you proffered your testimony under oath there, there's nothing that you said with regard to the rights that are rising up here?
Well, if I may explain, I introduced ourselves.
Say,
As a police officer, when you
Sir.
introduce yourself,
No, let the witness give evidence. You have asked the question. When he answers, you're preventing him from doing that.
My question, sir, is do you agree with me? It's either yes, I agree with you, or no, I don't agree with you. If you need to explain, I'm going to request you and say, can you please explain this? But now the question that I'm asking you is, do you agree with me that you did not tell this court in your evidence in chief that you ever explained his rights?
no, I do agree with you.
Thank you.
I was responding on the leading questions.
Ngiyavuma-ke uma uthi kubufakazi bami-ke angiyitshelanga le nkantolo-ke ukuthi ngamchazela amalungelo kodwa-ke bengiphendula-ke kwimibuzo ebengiyiphendula noma ebengiholwa kuyona.
Thank you. Before I forget this other point, the firearm, you said the numbers were filed off.
That is correct.
There's a process known as etching process. Do you know that process?
Very well, I know it.
Did you, at any point after recovery of or after finding this firearm, ever try to employ that process?
It goes together with the request. When you send a firearm to ballistic, it will come out with everything, even those that we didn't know about, especially a serial number that is filed off. It sometimes get picked up from the forensic.
Uma ngabe senza-ke isicelo noma isibhamu sithunyelwa-ke bona-ke laba ama-ballistic noma basebenza ngokuphenya ibhamu konke-ke bathola konke nalokho-ke futhi-ke ebengachaziwe-ke kanye futhi-ke nayo indaba noma udaba lolu lwe-serial number.
What do you understand by the etching process? What is it specifically used for?
The etching process.
Yeah, the etching. I don't know whether it's called etching or etching.
I know it by etching.
Oh, etching.
Yeah, they put the firearms somewhere to refill or to extract the serial number if it's been filed off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Le nqubo ongibuza ngayo-ke ila khona-ke isibhamu bakwazi ukuthi batholeke uma kuwukuthi serial number icishekile-ke bayithole bona noma bayibone.
So you just said that the firearm was referred to the forensic science laboratory and probably it could have been etched there. Did the originality of the numbers that were filed off come back through that process, or they were unable to retrieve that number?
If I remember well, they were able to retrieve that number.
Uma kuwukuthi ngikhumbula kahle-ke leyo number leyo bayithola.
You need to be very certain. You need to be
I
very
am certain they got the number.
Naso-ke siqiniseka ukuthi inumber leyo bayithola le number leyo kokuthola ukuthi iba kuyinumber ecinyiwe-ke.
Thank you. And having retrieved that number, did you trace it to a particular person?
That is correct, my lord.
Emuva kokuthi leyo number isitholiwe-ke noma yatholakala-ke yebo yakhona-ke ukuthi ibe itracewa-ke noma ehlanganiswa-ke nomuntu othize.
Thank you. with regard to this very last point, did you pen any statement with regard to this information?
Which information?
Did you give an additional statement with regard to this information that actually came off or came from the etching process?
Well, I wouldn't remember, but because I was busy with a lot of cases, I might have been putting it somewhere, but for me, it was not that necessary.
Ngoba kuukuthi ke ngisebenza ngamacala amaningi ke mhlambe ke yebo ngasibeka endaweni ethize kodwa ke kumina ngabona ukuthi isidingo singekho ukuthi ngibe nestatement engisenzayo ke mayela kanye nalelo daba lolo.
However, I did follow up on the ownership of the firearm, and it came up to be of a juristic person. It was a fidelity card from Senzo company.
Yes.
Kodwa ke ngalandelela ke uma leyo number isitholakala ke ukuthi kwakubani ke umnikazi ke futhi ke tusebenzela nje ifidelity eCenturion.
Thank you. Now, furthermore, I see on the covering letter here, there is exhibit X3 in paragraph 4. You requested the Forensic Science Laboratory to determine whether the firearm was involved in any other cases, not so?
That is correct, my lord.
Yebo kwakuyisicelo sami ke ukuthi babhekeke ukuthi isibhamu leso sasimbandakanyeka yini kwamanye amacala.
Now this case, this phosphorus case, this court has heard that it happened on the 26th of October 2014. 26th October 2014, not so?
That is correct.
Yebo kuqiniseka ukuthi leli cala liphambi kwenkantolo ke lona la nge-26 October 2014.
Now you are arresting accused number 3 on the 9th of February 2015, not so?
That is correct.
Mina ke ngambopha nge-9 kaFebruary 2015.
And common sense will tell us that the date on which you are arresting him, you allegedly find in his possession this firearm, it was almost more than 3 months after the phosphorus incident had happened, not so?
That is correct.
Futhi ke kusuka kusemuva ke kwezinyanga ezintathu senzeke isigameko sasephosphorus kathi mina ngimbamba nge-9 noma ngimbopha nge-9 kaFebruary 2015.
Now, and common sense will tell you that if there were any exhibits that were found at the phosphorus case, and this court has said that some firearm was used, those exhibits must have been taken, must have been at the Forensic Science Laboratory already, not so?
So,
Nokuthi ke uma kuukuthi kukhona okwatholakala ephosphorus ngo-26 October 2014 ukuthi lokho ke kwakusekundluliswe kuvele khona elab yamaphoyisa.
Now, when you receive this report, the basis of which is stated in paragraph number 4 of exhibit X3, did this firearm that was found in the possession of the accused person had anything to do with this phosphorus case?
You want him to answer that question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
my lord, there is nothing depicted by the firearm that was recovered on this case. Should it have been, definitely I think I was going to deal with it at that time. Like others.
What you saying? Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Akukho ke kulesibhamu esatholakala ke kuyena ke ngalezi ayi-9 kaFebruary 2015 ekwakuhlanganisa ke naleli ke icala leli uma ukuthi kwakukhona ke ngabe ke ngakubheka ke noma ngakunaka lokho.
Thank you. That is the reason why, my Lord, I actually wanted this witness to answer that question. Thank you. Going back to the scene where you arrested the accused, not that the scene at forced arrest. No. Where you arrested the accused. Now you get in there, you search, you found a firearm. Did you ask him who did he occupy that house with? Or that room? It's a room.
A tiny room. I think it was a 3/4 bed, if not single.
Aye, fellow, don't describe the
No, I'm
content.
just
the
describing
furniture
the room.
there. Oh, yeah,
The smallest of the
yes, it's a room. Yeah, but the question is, did you ask him who did he occupy that room with?
That's correct, my Lord. I did ask him.
Yebo ngambuza ukuthi kulelo kamera lelo ke noma kulelo room uhlala nobani.
Yes. What did you say?
Obviously, we got him with his girlfriend. They were staying together.
Samthola ke vele ehamba ke nosisi kahle kusona naye babehlala ndawonye.
You say obviously.
I
Is
asked
that
him,
not a supposition when you say obviously? The question
Common
is very
cause.
specific. Did you ask him and what his answer was?
that I'm staying with my girlfriend.
Ngambuza washo ukuthi ngihlala nentombi yami.
Said he was staying with the girlfriend. Did you ask him how long he has been staying with the girlfriend?
No, I didn't ask him.
Thank you.
Angizange ngibuze ukuthi kwakusenesikhathi esingakanani ehlala naye ke usisi loyo.
Thank you, sir. Did I hear you well when you say that in one of the things that he told you about this firearm is that he brought it from their homelands from KwaZulu-Natal?
That is correct.
Yebo ngizwe kahle ke ukuthi ngathi inkathi ngimbuza ke wathi isibhamu leso wasithola emakhaya eKZN.
Did you ask him when did he got hold of the firearm from KZN?
No, I didn't ask him.
Ukuthi nini ke angizange ngimbuze.
Thank you. Did you ask him how long did he occupy that room? For how long? That is from the day on which you found him, pointed that room to you. How long has he been occupying it?
I can't remember whether did I ask him.
Ukuthi ngambuza ukuthi kwayisenesikhathi esingakanani ke ekulelo room lelo angikhumbuli ke ukuthi ngambuza yini.
Let's move a bit away from the room. The firearm. Did you investigate this firearm for possible fingerprints on it?
No, for fingerprints, no.
Ama uphenyo ke lama fingerprints kusona isibhamu cha azange ngilwenze.
Did you investigate the blue container? Did you say blue or green? You know me and the colors. Blue. Yes.
Blue.
Did you investigate this blue container for any possible fingerprints?
No.
Nebhokisi leli ke eliblue nalo ke akuzange kwenze uphenyo lama fingerprints kulona.
Did you investigate the magazine? Now, it's 3 items for any possible fingerprints.
No.
Nayo ke magazine nayo uphenyo lama fingerprints akuzange lwenziwe.
Thank you. and you say the person who physically found the firearm on top of the wardrobe was Dlamini, not yourself, so.
No, it was not me.
azange sithole mina phezu kwe-wardrobe sathola uDlamini.
Okay, no, this one I'll take it up with Mr. Dlamini, don't worry. I'm just checking on something now that I'm thinking the court's urgent. There's a link that I need, yes. Thank you. You know, because accused, person will come and tell this court if they need a rise, of course. That indeed, on the 9th, you found him walking in the street with his girlfriend. When they were just about to get into the gate, then you accosted him. Is that what happened?
I was listening. You were telling me.
Yes, I'm starting to put his version to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Must I respond and say what?
If you don't have a response, say, I don't want to
I'm
respond. I
listening.
don't have any response.
Yes, I don't have.
You don't have
Kuloko
any
ukuthi
response.
ke
Thank you.
impela ke uzosho ke uma sekuyena uzofakaza ukuthi impela wayehambela estradini naye ke usisi loyo sase simisa ke anginako ke ngakusho kuloko.
Thank you. Now, as I'm saying, if needs arise, he'll tell this court that, as we have correctly mentioned, that he was very cooperative. He indeed had no choice but to cooperate with you because you're spitting venom.
Uthi ke umsolwa ke kwakungekho nje okunye ayengakwenza ke ngaphandleni kokuthi asebenzisane nawe ke ngoba ke wawucasa ukuganunwa.
Aye, that's a new thing. Spitting venom.
Kusha ke lokho kumina.
How can I spit venom on a cooperative somebody?
Ngikwenza kanjani ke ukuthi ngicasuke nganunwa umuntu nje onganikezi ngayinkinga.
Thank you. Now, as a result of the fact that you're spitting venom in order to secure or to save himself from the wrath that he would have encountered, he said things that you wanted him to say.
Uyaqhubeka ke uthi ngenxa ke yokuthi yena ke wayekuthi nje wayeyisindisa ke kuloko kuthukuthela ke wasesho izinto wena ke owawufuna noma ufisa ukuzizwa.
It's up to him, but I believe what he was telling me because we were just talking. We were not fighting. No one was spitting venom. We were talking.
Kukuyena ke lokho kodwa ke mina ke ngayikholwa ke noma ngakholwa ke lokho wayekusho ngoba ke kwakungaliwa ke lapha yana sasikhuluma nje akekho umuntu wayicasukile.
Thank you. He will further come and tell this court if the need arises that you did not even give him a chance to explain his side of the story with regard to the firearm that you allegedly found on top of the wardrobe. Oh, thank you. Is it please the court, my lord? I'm requesting in that case. Thank you for the indulgence, my lord. Thank you, sir. Accused person, if needs be, will come and tell this court that it is incorrect that he told you that he brought the firearm from his homeland, from KwaZulu-Natal.
Well, it will be okay with him, but whatever information I give is the information I get from him.
Uma kuwukuthi yena-ke uyakuphikisa ukuthi wangitshela ukuthi isibhamu wabuye nasemakhaya, kodwa-ke mina engikushoyo-ke yilokhu engakutshelwa uyena noma engathola kuyena.
Thank you, man. Just one more last indulgence, my lord, to the accused. Thank you. Thank you very much, my lord, for the second indulgence. Same accused person would come and tell this court that although you are alleging that the firearm was found in the room which he occupied with the girlfriend, he had nothing to do with that firearm.
So-ke uthi noma-ke wena usho-ke ukuthi-ke isibhamu lesi esatholakala kulela room abehlala khona-ke nentombi yakhe-ke ukuthi yena-ke kwangena lutho nje olumhlanganisa nalesiya sibhamu.
Well, it's a pity that you said we must concentrate on the firearm and the Cleveland. Alexander matter connects him.
I have just said,
Yes.
accused person says he had nothing to do with that firearm as it relates to Force Lores case.
Kungesho-ke ngoba-ke uthe asigxile-ke kwisibhamu kodwa-ke icala leli lase-Alexander-ke liyamhlanganisa. Umele usethi-ke lo yena-ke uthi akunalutho olumhlanganisa nalesiya sibhamu mayela-ke necala leli lase-Force Lores.
No, I hear you.
Ngiyakuzwa.
Thank you, my lord. My lord, just one point of that I need to bring to the attention of the court. This witness, it said something, it's a pity, and then he mentioned the Alexander case. I'm going to request, my lord, that that piece of information, if it clicked in the mind of the court, then it should be expunged of the record on the basis of it not being relevant to these proceedings.
Mr. Malui, to hear your learned colleague.
Well, he elicited the information. He made his bed, so he must lie on it. That's how that all works.
Ngiyafisa ukuthi kuzwe lokho kushoyo mfethu ummeli wakho uyacela ukuthi lokho kushiwo ufakazi ekhuluma-ke ngecala lase-Alexander ukuthi inkantolo-ke ingakunaki-ke kushaya indiva lokho yasinikeza u-advocate Baloyi ithuba-ke lokuthi aphendule kulokho uthi u-advocate Baloyi ngeshwa-ke ummeli wakho uyena-ke okhiphe noma odonse lobo bufakazi noma umbuzo wakhe wona-ke eholele ekuthini kulethwe leyo mpendulo leyo.
That is a very unfortunate response from a colleague that I hold so in such high esteem, my lord. he knows from the solitude of his conscience that
Oh, that's
Alexander
so.
case is irrelevant here. So it has got nothing to do with this first lawless case, my lord. As I'm saying, it's very unfortunate when it comes from a member of this aura, of this forum that I hold so dearly and so very high. Nonetheless, my lord, that will be the end of my cross-examination to this witness. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Nkosi. Thank you.
Yeah, this court doesn't expunge evidence. Okay? Just listen to me. Everything that happens in this court is on record.
As I am saying, I'll address it, my lord.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
worry.
So this court
Yes.
can be requested to expunge.
Yes. No, I will address it if the
Evidence.
time comes for me to deal with
Yes,
that
yes.
matter. Thank you very much.
Remember, I asked you, do you want him to answer that question? Remember, I asked you a question when you asked the question. Do you want him to answer that question? You remember?
No, my lord.
No, you don't? Okay, fine.
When I
Your
asked
colleagues
this
remember
one,
that. Do you remember, colleagues? Thank you.
Emkhumbuza ujaji mfethu kumele ukuthi loyo mbuzo loyo ngaphambi kokuthi awubuze bekuyisifiso sakhe yini sokuthi uphendule.
My lord, the same in reference to this last aspect incorrect. So I withdraw my consensus.
No, I've made my point. Sir, tell me about this Alexander case. I don't want to know the particulars. Did you have a warrant of arrest for the suspects?
On Alexander case?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
You did not have? You never applied for a warrant of arrest?
We didn't. There was no need for us.
Uthi asangeke sasingenayo warrant of arrest sasingekho isidingo sokuthi senze isicelo sayo ke.
How many people are involved in that case?
The Alexander one? There were three.
Oh, there were three, okay.
Babe bathathu ke abasola kulelo qala lelo lase Alexandra.
Yeah, I heard you and your colleague talking about the etching process. Do you know the physical science behind it? I know. I don't know if you know.
The physical science? I don't know, my lord, but what happens is when they come with what we were looking for, we get happy.
Yeah, that's what you call atomic configuration.
Yes.
Atomic configuration. When you etch a number on metal,
Yes.
the atoms which configure the surface of the iron, they duplicate that number right up to the bottom. The atomic structure is duplicated.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, so if you come from Soweto, you think you have wiped off the numbers.
Yes.
Once they go through the top layer, they actually find the original number.
That is correct, madam.
As it was. Is that not so?
That is correct.
Okay.
Siyajula ke ujaji membuza ukuthi uyazi ukuthi yini eyenzekayo ke uma befuna ukuthi batholeke inamba le engasabonakaleki serial number ukuthi yini ke abayenzayo ngoba yena ukuthi uma ephendula nje uma nje uthole lokho okufunayo ke wena bekungabonakali ukuthi kwenziwani ke angikwazi kodwa nje uyanema uma uthola lokho okufunayo.
Okay, thanks. You're excused. Unless your colleagues.
Thank you, Madam. I have no
Don't
cross-examination
have
to this witness.
Mr.
Thank you.
Mshalos?
My Lord, before I start with my cross-examination, can I ask that we adjourn and then I start with my cross-examination after lunch? There are instructions that I need to consult with regarding the
Okay.
cross-examination.
What time is it, Mr. Baloyi?
It's quarter to minutes. It's quarter to.
Okay. Come back what time?
I think 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Since the Christmas
Okay,
enough
fine.
time to
2 o'clock then?
About 4 much.